Hello, non-standard here. I'm bringing you a build guide for 316 Scourge League, a league starter. I will be playing Armageddon Brand Ignite. I've seen a couple other builds for this out there, but I took a little bit of a different approach, a different skill tree, so I just wanted to give my approach to how I'll be playing Armageddon Brand. I think it should be a pretty smooth league starter. I have been making builds for a long time, but I haven't made a guide before, so this is my first time. Please give me any feedback, anything I can do to make it better, whether my build is good, whether it's crap, whatever, just let me know in the comments. Anyways, jumping right into it. Let's see. So, like I said, we'll be going Elementalist. I should give a couple disclaimers. I have pseudo gem update on staff in the title here. The gems haven't been updated yet in Path of Building yet. Armageddon Brand in particular is getting a lot of changes. The base damage, the added damage effectiveness, the damage with Ignite multiplier thing, as well as the activation frequency are all changing. Basically what's going on with all Ignite skills is that the base damage of them is going up. The calculation for how to find Ignite damage is changing. Basically, it used to deal 50% of the damage of the hit per second. Now it's going to be 125%, so the base damage of Ignite is going way up, but all of the Ignite skill gems are losing their Ignite multiplier and also are getting more base damage, and the impact of base damage on Ignite is going up. I don't know if I explained that well. I don't know if that makes any sense. Basically, what I'm trying to say is GGG is trying to push Cruelty playstyle. Cruelty is a support gem that makes you deal more damage over time based off of the damage of your hits. So the higher your hits, you get a higher multiplier on your damage over time. They have nerfed most of the other support gems. They're adding stuff like this mastery, changing the formula of how Ignite actually works, buffing the base damage on all of these skills. It really just feels like they're trying to push Cruelty, so I decided, why not? I'll give it a shot, see how it plays out. And it's actually looking pretty decent. Yeah, so let's jump into it. So yeah, I have this Martyr of Innocence. I added a bunch of stuff to it. You can look at it here if you want, to try to emulate the changes. I don't think I did it perfectly or anything, but I think I probably got close enough and probably lowballed a little bit. I always try to. Um, yeah, there's also Scorch on here. That's because of Replica Malachi's Artifice. It doesn't actually let you uh, do anything in the configurations with the alternate ailments with just that. So you have to actually put Chance to Scorch on your gear really quick as well with the Scorch and Cruelty. I think I lowballed both of these. It's really hard to tell. I found this Cruelty formula. According to that formula and another one that I found that was a little bit different but gave a really similar result. I think I'll be applying max Cruelty to Cirrus, which would be 50%. I think pretty darn close if not, but it's really hard to say, so I just try to lowball. I think the Scorch should be a little bit higher than this. If your Scorch that you're applying is like 10 or lower, it's probably not worth using that ring, the Secrets of Suffering ring, Replica Malachi's Artifice. But I think it'll probably be in like the 10 to 20 range, which in my opinion is pretty worth it. Yeah, so let's get into it. So I went Elementalist. You can see what I took here. I think that this is a pretty balanced approach. Elementalist is great. You can take all sorts of things. I like Chill because it is a great defensive thing, as well as allows you to use Hypothermia, which is a fantastic damage support. Shock multiplies hits and Ignite, so that is really good for this sort of Cruelty build. Shaper of Flame speaks for itself. Mastermind of Discord is just a bunch more damage. You can go other routes, but that's what I chose to go. You'll also see, as far as league starting here, I have a Thread of Hope and a Glorious Vanity. Obviously, you won't have those right away. Not super important. You can just not grab, at this point on until you get that. And then as far as the Thread of Hope goes, I don't know if this point is necessarily at all. Don't necessarily need this early, so rather than taking like these stuff, you can just keep going on this and take these points until you get your Thread of Hope, or if you don't want to use it until you don't, whatever. So you see my skill tree here. I basically prioritize fire damage, elemental damage, block, spell block, life. I also took both of these. I will be capping Chaos Res at some point with Divine Flesh, so this is really good. Corrupt Blood, obviously really good. This stuff really good. You can get over 100% reduced effect, or over 100% reduced, effect of all sorts of different ailments between these stuff and Pantheons, or like one mod on a gear or whatever. So I don't know if I'll be taking this for sure, but I think I probably will be eventually, just because I'm pretty sure I'll be able to get immune to chill, shock, and freeze relatively easy taking it. But if it turns out I don't need this stuff, I'll probably just spec out of it. I also just took these. It's two more things that I don't have to worry about it, but pretty much all of these are good. Impaled isn't really very good, but you could take any of these or none of them, and it should work out fine. Yeah, I took the cruelty effect here. I got a few points of attributes in the tree, which we'll hopefully be able to respect at some point. But yeah, I'll put my POB in the description so you can take a look at it, dive into it, see what all masteries and stuff I took. Let's see, other notes on the skill tree. We do have Runebinder, so our total DPS line here will actually be doubled because we'll have 2 Armageddon brands on them, weapon away. I took 2 points into crit here just for elemental overload uptime. The base crit of Armageddon brand is getting nerfed, so I think this might be worth taking. It's hard to say. If you have obviously 100% uptime without it, it is not worth taking. If you do not have 100% uptime without it, it is worth taking. So it'll just be checking that out, seeing where we're at. Glancing Blows, super good when you have recovery on block. I have it from two different sources, so it's pretty much just really, really good. Even without it, it's very good, but if you have recovery, it tends to make more sense to take Glancing Blows. So you just get more recovery. But yeah, decent amount of HP, decent damage. Obviously this HP is with almost nothing equipped. So keep that in mind. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the skill tree. Moving on to skills. I have the main link in this helmet. I really like using helmets like this. The Essence 30% more damage modifier is basically like another support gem without any mana multiplier. Actually quite a good support gem now with the support gem nerfs recently. But yeah, you can make this kind of helmet really easily. You can find ones that people are selling that they didn't hit quite what they wanted. Can usually pick them up for decently cheap. A little bit into the league, but yeah, I'll probably just be using like some random 5-link or something until I get that. So it would be this same setup with hypothermia. But yeah, here's my Armageddon brand setup. So that gives a 6-link in the body as well as the staff potentially still to utilize. So right now in the staff I have a 5-link Wave of Conviction with a bunch of utility, as well as Steel Skin. In the body I would have Lightning Warp. If I got a 5-link, I would add on Swift Affliction for less duration. There's also, you can get stuff like Culling Strike on here. I don't see why not. You can get Inspiration, less mana cost, whatever. Just some fire support, life support and stuff. Herald of Ash, not super necessary. I like taking a Herald usually just because I have MTXs and I think they look really nice. Obviously, the quasi-ignite proliferation thing is decently nice for clear, and it does give a little more hit damage for cruelty, which may or may not be relevant. I've never actually used cruelty, so I don't really know what to expect from it. But as far as the formulas that I've found and plugging numbers in, it seems like it's pretty darn good. So I have high hopes for it. I chose Flame Golem and Chaos Golem. Stone Golem is good. Lightning Golem could be decent. It could make sense. Ice Golem wouldn't really work on this build. Not crit, not accuracy. And then I have Flame Surge in the Replica Malachai's Artifice, which gives Secrets of Suffering. So Flame Surge cannot ignite, but it can Scorch, so I'll be applying Scorch like that, and it will also give the 25% more damage thing now. Yeah, so that's it for skills. Moving on to gear, Martyr of Innocence is probably going to be the best in slot weapon for this build, I imagine. Probably for any fire damage based cruelty builds, I imagine Martyr of Innocence is probably the best in slot, unless you're wanting to spend tons and tons and tons of money. Looking for a helmet, something like this. Other than that, life, res, probably pick up some armor. The Replica Malachai's Artifice gives the Scorch, and Replica Emberwake is really good for the new Flame Surge because the deal damage faster makes your ignite DPS number go way up, and that's the only number that matters for Flame Surge. So without this, obviously just damage in general goes way down, but particularly the ignite DPS, and that's because it does not have 40% faster. So yeah, 43% faster, and it gives 43% more damage. So pretty much 1-to-1 on that. The downside, of course, would be that the duration is really low. So without speccing into duration at all, that would give us 0.28 second ignite duration, which means we could most likely not have 100% uptime. So I just took one little 15% duration node, and it brings it all the way up to 0.7 seconds, which should be very easy to sustain. And then with the Flame Surge, we're going to be getting about 220k more damage if they're standing on the burning ground. Yeah, like I said, trying to lowball Scourge, trying to lowball Cruelty. These will probably be more like max Cruelty or pretty close, and that would be hopefully a little higher, maybe 15-20%. So a little bit more damage there, potentially. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Let me know if you have any questions, if there's anything I didn't cover. Just any general feedback is appreciated. And yeah, good luck with the league start.